I don't have a quirky intro this time. Times are changing, I'm sorry guys. But welcome to my probably last devlog I'm doing for Project Exceed, as it's known. My speedrunning project that I'm doing for my portfolio website is done soon. TM. In this final devlog I will showcase some level art and some iterations on the final split 3, which I heavily criticized myself for in the last video. If you saw that, I will go and explain more in case you haven't seen the second video of this devlog series. But the last third of the map wasn't very good, so it is very different for the better. I'm very happy with how it looks and how it plays. I'm very happy with the level art, even though I'm not a level artist, but I'm working with low poly assets, and I seem to have a pretty good touch for that sort of thing, as it would seem. A lot of people have been giving me praise for the level art, which makes me very happy, because again, I'm not a level artist. It's not really what I do, but it's also just fun to kind of turn off your brain, watch a YouTube video on the second monitor, and do some level dressing. It's very fun, it's very cozy. I'm gonna try to keep this video a bit shorter than the last one. I think the last one was a bit long and a bit uncut, if you will. I made it late at night, but that's fine, that can happen. I'm gonna try to not bullshit this video and just get on with it. Alright, so we're in Unreal here, and this is a overview, one of the cameras that I have for the level. This is the third split. Also want to preface that this is actually not the final version. The final version has some layout tweaks, but I will show that later when it's done, and I'll post that video in April when I'm allowed to show that stuff. But I can show work in progress stuff, so this is technically not done. There's still animations and VFX to be put in place, and the layout is to be changed a little bit. But this is the last thing I'm going to showcase for the project today. We got some overhead views here. We got a very dramatic skybox. I'm quite fond of the lighting as well. Different camera setups here for documentation and different purposes. Fuck you. The main thing to take away from the blockout version and the dressed version, I think, is the fact that we actually have cliffs that kind of support it, and there isn't just floating blocks everywhere. The blockout was very ugly to look at, I think. Such is a blockout, but like, this adds a lot more believability to it and a lot of very nice color. I do think that the grid is kind of nice to look at, just for the sake of player readability, I suppose. Like, I think it is nice to know how far or like how fast you go. I think it helps with, again, readability of the environment. And also when I try to turn off the grid, I'm really fond of this solid color. There's some more visual depth when there isn't, or like when the grid is there, I mean, which I think is pretty nice. Other than that, we got some ruin theme going on. Again, this is not very final. There's still more to be done here. I think there was like debug text here, not debug text, but like text and level that said waterfall here. The waterfall is actually here now, with a secret. Humor of a 12-year-old. I don't remember if this was in a blockout. There were stairs, or there are stairs here now. I don't remember if that was there. Maybe I should watch that video before I make this one. I'm gonna repeat myself quite a bit in this video, I think. And the reason for the staircase is when a player comes up like this, we had the white footholds that people try to climb up, or having the vines that people try to climb up but you can't. I think the stair here communicates well that this is indeed the intended path forward, and the speedrunner brain will just dash upwards here instead. Not much more to add about the stairs. I think I'm gonna try to keep this short and not make it another 22-minute video. This is largely unchanged as well. Yeah, no, largely unchanged, I think. We do have the vines here, actually. I am glad I found this now, because goodbye. I don't remember if I covered it last video, but we have these blue orbs here that would do this. It gives you a dash charge, and they also reappear after a bit of time. It's just in case you get shafted, or like you shaft yourself rather, and you kinda you muck about, so to say. You have a chance to redeem your run. it's kind of awkward to run up all the way here, and you kind of have to reset the whole level because there isn't a way to get up. I mean, you can still kill this guy and get up if you have bullets, but yeah, the orb is just like as a safety net and or a reward for a player if they take this path, and they just like an extra orb to be had. Anywho, moving on. Yeah, like broken down. Also kind of like mini sign posting that you can skip here. Again, I think the speedrunner brain will just find this. But yeah, this is the third split that I was talking about at the start of the video, and I was heavily criticizing at the end of my previous devlog. And what is different here, we can actually go into the blockout and do some comparisons. I don't think this... Oh yeah, never mind. This is correct. Okay. So this shot here is pretty similar with... we have the arch here and we have like a left thing. I mean, no, not really. I think everything is like shifted. Like that. That makes sense from the camera POV for sure. Yeah, I mean, if we just go side by side, I mean, we can still see the... Everything's a lot more shifted to the left. And I think it becomes a cleaner composition to look at. There's just decisions you can make here on the fly, but I think this blockout version is a lot more confusing to look at. Like, this path is like semi-hidden. I'm not really sure what's going on over here, you know, from taking the perspective of a player. I'm not really sure what this is either. The depth perception on this flying enemy here is kind of weird. Depending on the angle, it's hard to see where he is, so I don't know if he's connected to this route, which he is. I know that as a level designer. But I just also, again, think it's kind of poor. And the current version is a lot better at doing this, I think. The waterfall down here kind of... It's an eye catcher because it is a, you know, it uses the color blue, whereas the rest of the environment is like gray-green. So this catches your eye, and you're also being breadcrumbed with enemies to go down this path. So I think this path is a lot more well done in that sense. It's a lot more clear. You can see the path. I don't think you have the same depth perception problem as the blockout version has. One thing that will be changed in the final version is the fact that there's a lot of enemies on screen right now. There's a lot of red going on. It's a bit overwhelming maybe. I mean, you still have time because this little trek here. I still think you have time to make up your mind on what route you want to take. But I think this thing here could be raised up a bit. And I think this area could be more interesting and have less enemies. Like, I think these two... This guy's fine, I think. I think having him here makes it a bit much. Same with this guy. But just kind of trying to cover up some stuff and make it less overwhelming is the goal with the final version of the level. That will be iterated upon, and I will cover that in my last devlog. Or showcase, rather. So again, the paths are a bit different. We have the cave route over here. Despite being the furthest away, it is actually the route which I have scored the best time on myself on playtesting all the routes. And it's probably due to the enemy density and how fast you can like dash and go through this cave. And reach the end over here. Obviously a Dark Souls reference because I have to, I'm legally obliged to do one. I mean, if you're making a game, that's like the reward. You get to put something fun in at the end. I have to. Anyways, second path. I have a classmate, she recommended to use arches. The first thought was to have like the rooftops to run on because that's fun to run on top of. You know, if you played Assassin's Creed, the older ones where you get to run on rooftops, that's a pretty fun thing to do because you don't get to do that in many games. It's just kind of an exciting thing. Insert fucking propeller hat on my head right now, but it's kind of a fun childlike wonder to run on rooftops. And I think the same kind of goes for running beneath arches, which is why every route now, I realize that now every route has some arch thing related to it. But I think you know, I kind of wanted to differentiate the different feelings you would get. This one kind of feels more like you're scaling a mountain and you're getting a lot of verticality going on. And it's kind of exciting to get this like top-down view, especially when you come out here. You can like see, you can see spawn, you can see here. Maybe you won't rotate your camera and look towards it, but it's a neat like peripheral thing going on, I think. Maybe it's not the best sightline ever because of this fucking dumbass rock. But I digress. It looks nice on screenshots. It's a nice view, I think. I like it like in the dark here. It's a nice contrast to the rest of the level, which is very bright, and then you kind of come out here and it's very like engulfed in shadows. That sounded very edgy. And then the third and final route, I sat way too long one evening and made these flying enemies. Why too long, just fixing the collision and whatnot. But yeah. Different gameplay moment is all. Some variety. If I were to make another level, I would for sure utilize these guys more. I might make another level for the game just because for the love of the game. I think it's fun to work on, fun to level dress, maybe make a different type of environment. There's actually a shot from Kung Fu Panda which lives rent-free in my head, and I would like to pay homage to that composition. And that would be this composition. I think this is pretty cool. Like there's fog, there's a bunch of mountains and high cliffs going on here. And this is with the Tai Lung fighting the, what's her name, Tigress, I think. I digress. I want to make a level with that setting at least. I think it would be cool if I were to make another level, and I would use these flying boys a lot more. This was less of a discussion type video. Again, try to hold it very short. I think I succeeded with that. But yeah, this is the second to last showcase of the level. Again, there will be some layout changes based on feedback that I've gotten on playtests. Thanks a lot, Mr. Graham Hill, for sitting down with me one Sunday. We were both hungover and had a great chat about level design and game dev on LinkedIn, especially. Got a lot of great feedback. Very, very great guy. Follow him on LinkedIn. He does funny posts. As a sort of final devlog thing that we got going on here with this short series, I wanted to show off where the name Project Exceed actually came from. Again, I am a very big Devil May Cry fan. I do not hide that with the fact that there's a style meter and the fact that the name came from a Devil May Cry 4 and 5 mechanic, amply named Exceed. And how Exceed works in that game is Nero, one of the main characters, he can like rev up his sword like a motorcycle handle. And with that max stacks, he unleashes a very strong attack, and it is very fun. It's very cool to get that strong attack. So when I right click, you can see top left of the screen. I'll zoom in. You can see the number going up, and when it's a 5, the next shot will... I don't know what happened there. There we go. It was supposed to be a lot more extravagant than that, but you know, obviously just a prototype mechanic. I'm not gonna do more than just a sphere trace. But the idea was to have like this underbarrel thing going on with the revolver as a secondary function to the gun. But ultimately, it kind of just ended up being super awkward to play with. The thing for this mechanic to work in a fun way, and like as it was originally intended to, it would have to one-shot to feel good to use. But then the revolver isn't allowed to one-shot, and then it's like... I really like having a beefy gun, you know, beefy guns are cool. Like I love the 44 Magnum in every first-person shooter that I play. I always love using revolvers. And having like this little, you know, the thing going on when you shoot and the camera, it's a lot of good feedback. And I think that having the underbarrel function on the revolver would make a lot of sense, because it's like a heavy shot, heavy load kind of thing that you unleash. Having that on like a normal mag-fed pistol didn't seem as cool. It was hard to make it cool. You know, we could use a Desert Eagle as a reference. But even then, a Deagle, you know, when you see it, you think like, oh, it's gonna do a lot of damage because it shoots like 50 cal bullets or whatever. I'm not a gun nerd, I don't know if it actually does. But my point is, the choice came down to having a fun, beefy feeling revolver, or having like this thing. Why I bring that up is, you know, if the revolver is gonna one-shot, then why the fuck have this this other shot in the game, you know? But what I'm mainly getting at is having the weaker pistol, you would have to go like shooting 3 times. And I don't know, I just didn't think that was gonna be as fun. It's a lot worse for tempo in a speedrunner. That's also why reloading isn't in the game. It's kind of why we got the ammo resource thing going on with the orbs, and also when you kill enemies you get a dash, and you can get a bullet back when you kill someone with a dash, and all that kind of stuff. And just having to shoot a lot more bullets would just kind of make the resource management, or like the resource economy of the game, would be a lot harder to balance. It would vary a lot depending on skill level, so it would be a lot harder to play test and get actually good feedback on. So all in all, I just think scrapping this mechanic was for the better. But I'm very glad I experimented with it, because I was like, what if we have like a signature Devil May Cry mechanic in a first-person shooter? And I tried it out, and I really wanted it to work. Unfortunately, it didn't. But again, I'm super glad that I tried it. Ultimately, sometimes you have to scrap things from your game ideas to make the game better, make the game feel better. Maybe in a different life or a different project, this mechanic could actually work. But not in this one. And that's fine. I still have the code for it. You know, I could always just implement it in a new game if my heart really desires it. But my heart desires a more tight and more focused gameplay loop over having that mechanic. So yeah, I think that was pretty much all that I wanted to say and have documented on Project Exceed. Don't think this game will see the light of day. I might upload it on itch for the fun of it. When it's fully done with all its animations and VFX and stuff, I will post like a final showcase video of the game. But it's been very fun to work on this. It's been one of the most giving projects that I've ever worked on. Again, with a whole game design discussion about the Exceed mechanic. It's been very fun to work on. I've learned a lot with scripting, learned a lot about level design, level art even, that wasn't even intentional. I've learned a lot about game design, economy, and resource management. Somehow that wasn't either like intended, but it kind of ended up that way, and it was very fun. I'm a bit somber that it's you know, gonna move on, but I think the next project is gonna be super cool. I'm gonna make a devlog on that very soon as well, when there's more to show. It's in a very rough early stage right now, but I've been working on it for like 3 weeks, I think. It's very near and dear to my heart, the game. It's inspired by Black Ops Zombies, I'll say that much. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video, and thank you so much for the support. I've gotten a lot more views and a lot more engagement, and a lot of people have interacted and shown support for this little devlog thing that I've been doing. I appreciate it a lot, and I hope that you will look forward to and enjoy the coming videos as much as you do with these ones, if you have enjoyed them. And if not, that is okay. The sun goes up tomorrow. Yeah. Again, thanks so much for watching, guys. I will see you in the next devlog. Project Midnight, as it's codenamed at the moment. Or whatever. Yeah. Bye bye.